moving forward. After eating a liver kick, too, and going to the ground in a heap.
I don't know why Feely isn't throwing body kicks here.
There you go.
Yes! Hey!
But you,
Goes back
but you
up top.
notice, that one seemed harder than the one that hurt Pineda, right? Sometimes it's not the intensity at which you land them with, it's just where you land them.
How clean it lands on the liver, more importantly, too. You can see the redness right on the liver. It's there for Feely, though.
Oh.
There again. Eye poke.
Fucking shitty construction companies that were cheaping out on stuff. I would believe shitty construction companies because I've dealt with some of these construction companies and they'll cheap out in any way that they can.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and that was always, even with the 9/11 people, I would always argue. I think Building 7 was absolutely a controlled demolition, but when people talk about the first two buildings, they're like, there's no way they would have fell like that. And, the way they were built, and look at these engineering and look at all these blueprints. And I'm like, okay, so you've never had something break off in your house that your contractor swore was fucking rock solid and would last 100 years? Like, these motherfuckers cut corners all the time. The stairwells in 9/11, like, they originally were going, those stairwells were encased, reinforced steel, and then had reinforced concrete with steel running through them. And then guess what happened? You know what those fucking stairwells were made out of? Gypsum, which is basically fucking drywall. So, like, whenever people try to act like, the blueprint says that would have never happened, you're like, yeah, but then these cocksuckers, they steal. The mob owns a lot of the construction in New York, especially back in the 70s when they built it. There's a lot of money laundering. There's a lot of shit disappearing off the job site, and there's a lot of corners that they cut. And then you wonder why a building falls. Now, Building 7, absolutely, they were like, okay, did we get all the gold out of the building? Boo.
Yeah,
but
the thing with that McAfee thing, the reason again, people are just a stretch.
Because they're nuts.
But let's say he did it. But let's say he did have an apartment there. That apartment would have been ransacked and emptied out a long time ago. They already had the right to go through all this shit in the States if they wanted to. They already had warrants. They already had whatever they needed. And honestly, it would be a lot easier to send a fucking FBI people in there to empty it out and fucking burn the evidence than it would to destroy an entire building.
Dude, people, we've been blurring the line between, like, theater and real life for a long time. And people just don't know the line anymore. So they just run wild with this shit. Like, the McAfee, I still think he killed himself, personally. Whatever. I have my theories on that. But a lot of people are just like, no, man, it's this thing. And now they had the department and connect the dots, man. And he's sending out his dead man switch. And it's just always this fucking weird hope porn that people have. And it's like, there's still a lot of plan trusting going on. And I don't like to see it.
Well, here's my take on it. Do I think he killed himself? Probably. But do I blame people for thinking that somebody killed him? I don't. Only because of all the shit that we've seen up until this point,
True, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Anyway, what were we talking? Oh, sorry.
This morning, from every angle, desperation and devastation in Surfside. Families.
Did you see the guy that said, and I'm gonna quote it. Okay, I'm quoting this because I need to make sure that I read this correctly. When he said, see, someone sent it to me actually. Let me grab it. They were talking about the building that collapsed, and he said the thing he's gonna miss the most is his coin collection. He survived, right? The thing he's gonna miss the most is his coin collection. I swear to God. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? There's people that are dead.
If anyone finds my coin collection in there, please. Okay? I understand it's not a priority. I'm just saying that, while you're looking for the dead children, maybe you could just keep an eye out for it. He's one of those guys that's like trying to make it sound reasonable. Oh, no, I understand my coins are not the first priority, but when you're looking, digging for the grandmothers and the pregnant ladies, just keep an eye out for the coins. They're little gold coins, and they come from various different places. You'll know them.
Answers. About 20 Jewish people are among the missing, including some with Israeli citizenship.
Those numbers are expected to go up
drastically.
Those numbers are expected to increase as the news reports come out.
Responders searching for signs of life. 99 people.
99 missing. You flip that over. That's 2 6s. Just one more 6. You know what that is? 666. Sign of the beast. Or it was a sinkhole.
Yeah, or it was,
or it was a Florida sinkhole.
or it was the artificial beach that we man-made shifting slightly, and that's all it takes for a shitty, not very reinforced little thin, whimsy concrete building to collapse. Because I think people always forget that there's not. People forget that there's like, several different kinds of concrete too. So when people just see a building, they're like, "Look at that, it's concrete; it'll never fall." And you're like, Royce, I'm sure you've seen that kind of concrete before when somebody gets like a cheap driveway where you could literally like stomp on a sticking out part and it'll just break right off. Like, there is cheap concrete, like the shit they make driveways with and stuff.
So the things they make I-4 out of. Fucking shit
well,
highway.
Certain parts of it, depending on the county.
Shit highway.
Some counties pocket the money, and then some counties actually make the highways better.
Accounted for.
She was amazing. And then my son that's the hardest part right now. So
as this guy's getting interviewed, all of a sudden you just hear, "Hello, excuse me, hi, it's me again. Listen, have you seen my coins? I'm sorry. You can retape this in a minute, right? Thank you. Barry, have you seen my coins?" He's like, "My wife is missing." I know, but it's my coins.
When's she coming over? Because he saw the footage this morning.
PJ Rodriguez's mother and grandmother were inside the tower that collapsed. When his family saw this surveillance video showing the catastrophe in real time, they lost all hope. 1 minute, the building is standing. The next, it's tumbling down into a plume of ash.
I think somebody should definitely pay for this. Unfortunately, it happened to my mom and my grandmother, but it happened to other families too.
Residents who did make it out alive say it felt like an earthquake.
I opened the door and I saw that the building had pancakes in the back.
Surfside's mayor in disbelief.
We're going to do our very best to save as many people in that pile of rubble as we possibly can.
I saw this earlier.
Fire and rescue working around the clock from a parking garage.
This is 9/11.
The pile, cutting tunnels, risking their own lives to try and reach inside.
We have teams of firefighters constantly as they continue to making cuts, breaches.
Feels like a disaster movie.
Firefighters are bigger heroes than police officers.
It's going to cut. It's going to cut. Of course they are.
And police officers are always the ones who get the free meals.
Police officers are the worst of the first responder category.
Yeah.
Hands down. It's going to cut back to some more building footage and go back to a press conference, and it's just going to be the same tenant again going, "I'm offering a reward of up to $10 for my coins." If anyone has seen a coin collector, he's got a picture of him blown up from his Facebook.
Placing sonar devices.
Kitty B's right. January 6th was way worse than what we just saw.
That's why I couldn't. As soon as it popped in my head, I'm like, "Oh my God!" They kept calling that 9/11, and this feels way more like a 9/11.
This is way worse.
Search cams to locate victims.
Structural engineers embedded
He's like,
with those fire.
We're gonna have searchlights and cameras to find a search for victims and the coins, Barry, and the coins. Jesus.
Okay, well, look for your coins.
Because he's gonna bring it up again.
Yeah.
Firefighters to make sure other parts of the building don't collapse.
This process is slow and methodical. You see that every time there's a shift in the rubble.
Ah, yes. Officer Louis J. Gomez on the scene.
Look, it's a rough situation, doggy. I don't know, man. They're probably all fucking dead, to be honest. Like, they told me not to tell everybody, but to be honest, they're probably all fucking dead, doggy. Like, I still want to get people's hopes up.
Yeah, he's going to name the real last dismembered body of the week. I'm excited.
All right, look, doggy. Look, the real last dude of the week is going to be whoever finds this guy's coins and gets him to fucking leave me alone.
This is horrible.
You get real last dude of the week, and I'll give you free passes to Skankfest. Just get this guy to leave me alone about his fucking coins. I don't even care. Just go, doggy. Go get some other coins. Go get some other coins that look like his coins. Just get them away from me.
People died, Mike. People died.
I can't let the coins go.
We have additional rubble that shifts on us.
Of the dozens unaccounted for, Luis, Catalina, and Valeria Gomez, all visiting from Colombia. Ray and Mercedes
Oh, I think I found the problem.
Oh. I thought the woman on the right looked familiar. I don't know.
Valeria Gomez, all visiting from Colombia. Ray and Mercedes Urguelles, whose daughter says they lived in the building for 7 years. And Edgar Gonzalez, whose wife and 16-year-old daughter are at Jackson Memorial Hospital. They survived. We spoke to Edgar's best friend outside.
If you had a chance to talk to him, what would you say? Keep fighting. Keep fighting. You know? I'm holding out hope. I'm praying.
The single sign of hope,
Jesus.
This boy pulled from the rubble, his body carried by firefighters as he's put on a stretcher, what appears to be a fist bump to the heroes who saved him.
And we've also learned about another very, very sad story. A group of 3 grandmothers who were all very close friends had gone out the night before the collapse to an art exhibit here in Miami. They came back because one of the grandmothers had a condo here in Surfside. They decided to overnight. All 3 of those grandmothers are now missing. And I happen to know this because I grew up with a lot of their families. We went to the same schools, the same church. They are very good families.
Oh, he's legitimately knew these people. That's what he looks like he's about to cry, or he's crying. I don't blame him. I mean, especially if he knew the people, you know. Hey, Don Lemon, just to point something out. This is what a real reporter getting emotional looks like, not whatever dumb shit you do.
Yeah.
Drink much?
Sorry.
Mike was also getting emotional. His drug dealer lived in the building.
I kind of think I was, which is why I sucked in on the fucking coffee a little bit. I feel bad for this guy, man.
I do. You could tell.
Like, I was just going to say, like, people don't realize that, like, in Florida, there are these little-ass towns with these little-ass school districts. There's a lot of gerrymandering in Florida, so there are little towns that... There's a reason why there'll be a town that's the per capita income is like $500,000 a year, and then the town next to it is like, you know, Miami Gardens. It's just the way it's zoned here in Florida. So it's man. This is a small town. That's a shame, dude.
And they are hurting in a major way, like all the families out here.
And you're talking about also like, you know, bougie Hispanics who, by and large, do all still kind of go to a church probably, and all still like, we're not just so that people don't paint the wrong picture. We're not talking about like degenerate side of Florida. We're talking about that guy's probably not full of shit when he's like, yeah, we all went to the same church, we all went to the same.
No,
high school.
I would believe that. I believe that. I mean, it's, you know, it's you went to Miami High, bro? Yeah, me too, dude. That's pretty common.
But these guys probably went to some fucking like school that, you know, only had like 1,500 students in it.
You know where they hung out at though? Flanagan's.
Of course.
I mean, Flanagan's. There's a good
at
chance.
Least on wing night.
Wing night's the best night to go to Flanagan's. You get to keep the green plastic cup.
Yeah, they are really generous at Flanagan's.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Lord Pepsi, we should bring back Jinx, you owe me a soda, beer, joint, or prostitute. Kane J remix to Ignition had great lyrics. So, baby, give me that toot toot. Let me give you that beep beep. Running no hands through my fro,
bouncing on 24s.
Mersh
on radio.
They put Mersh 2003. I throw rocks at retards. I want to be Marco Island cop so I can be a local booby inspector. Imagine all the middle-aged boobies you could eyeball and then touch. The kind of pendulous boobies you can tie in a knot. I like boobs and rocks. Eric Fitzpatrick.
So just fucking join the TSA. Get a job at the TSA.
Mm-hmm.
You get to fucking grope women and steal shit.
Or become the governor of New York.
That's true.
Any one
Either
of them.
or. But TSA is easier.
Yeah.
The barrier of entry to become a TSA agent is a little.
Well, unless your last name's Como, then you're in.
And at least if you're a TSA agent, you actually have the federal government behind you. Unlike Cuomo.
Eric Fitzpatrick. I heard half the building was built in 81 and half of it was built in 84. That means they poured the slabs in 2 pours, so there's a cold joint. I'm in the concrete business. That's pretty shitty design. This is what I love about having a nice big audience of like people that aren't losers, because like everybody like has some insights. Like no matter what the story is, we always have somebody who's like literally knowledgeable. Is like, oh yeah, that's why you don't do that. Like for example, Miami MILF is very knowledgeable at all the early bird specials in South Florida. So if we ever need that,
You guys ever want fucking, a nice 30% brunch, like 30% off?
She's got it.
That's Miami Milk.
Someone bought a beer. Paramore in Orlando is pretty nice. Meatloaf's
But Miami Milk will also tell you where all the locations, where all the cool cougars hang out, who, unlike her, don't think they're better than you.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Attainable ones.
Yeah, where are the ones with the lower self-esteem?
Meatloaf's bastard son. Hey guys, I'm having a shitty day. I'm bleeding internally. My apartment smells like wet dog thanks to a leak in my roof. Oh wait, oh my god, what happened in Florida? Jack Wright bought a beer. I started last summer campfire side in the swamp when they flew the mosquito into my ear, the CIA that is, and it's my targeting I'm talking about. Arnold Nicotina bought 3 beers. I wonder if there were any complaints about random loud noises like metal bending or snapping, or even large cracks randomly appearing in the wall, signs of structural damage. Trust me, the people in that building would have been complaining if those things were happening. That, just put it to you that way.
Yeah, and if something happened where the earth shifted a little bit and those buildings weren't secure, like they were saying in the news report, somebody heard some creaks the night before, that's all it's going to be. That's the only warning you're going to get, are a couple of creaks that you're going to go, what was that? It's probably nothing. And then it's just going to collapse. It's not going to... It's not like a movie where there's like several moments where you're like, uh-oh. It's going to be like one minor warning and then you're gone. I really... That's a fucking bummer of a story, and
it's a nice area too. I mean, on top of all that, like,
it's gonna now make me and Royce paranoid when we rent Airbnbs down there. And look, I think that honestly, if you're watching this, say a prayer, and let's just all hope that guy finds his coins.
Honestly, yes. And also, hey, Miami Milk, can we just stay at your house next time we go down? We're scared.
Yeah, we're scared.
Thank you. We're scared. That's fine. We'll crash on the couch. It's not a big deal. We don't care. Yeah. We don't mind that you get up at 4 a.m. So,
yeah, that's cool. I'm still up. That's why I like hanging out with old ladies, because then they're up making coffee while I'm still up, and I'm like, sure, I'll have a cup too. It works out perfectly.
So,
but I'm not going to drink that Sanka shit.
Oh no. So, George Floyd statues vandalized. Did you see what happened in Newark? Brooklyn and Newark.
I
That's the other news of the night, and the vandalism targeting a George Floyd statue in Brooklyn. Just 8 days after it was unveiled, the face was spray painted. The NYPD's hate crimes unit.
Now, can I ask something?
Maybe they're just trying to make it look more lifelike.
Fucking asshole. We were just finishing it?
Yeah, they were just finishing it.
We were finishing it. We were trying to help. Look, I don't think any of us are thrilled that they want to tear down statues of, like, fucking George Washington and replace them with George Floyd. I think we could agree, most of us, on that. Oh, you want to replace? That's cool. I understand why people are frustrated about that. But what is doing this good? Like, what does this do?
Ooh,
what, give them ammo?
Well, it makes me laugh.
I get it, but this is now they're gonna say that this is worse than 9/11, the second one.
Can I ask you a serious question?
Sure.
The part they spray painted looks better, right?
It's closer. It's too dark, but it's technically closer than the original.
Okay.
I think that if they would have done what they should have done, was gone with a more lifelike color. Like, you know what I mean? If they didn't go with like black, like soot black, like if they'd gone with a nice chocolate color, then it would have been less, then you could have been like, well, no, seriously.